So when I moved here from Canada, I couldn't get a Visa card. I moved into Raleigh, and I had had houses, and I'd had commercial loans, and I'd had cars, and I'd had student loans, and I had a great credit record. And I found out that Visa International kind of started at Six Forks and ended over at Capitol Boulevard. At the time, I was in business with my 4 brothers, and I was finishing my degree, and to do that, I had to go to Duke University. This was before there was an internet, and I went over there because I was a resident of Wake County. I also couldn't get a library card, which put me in the source of constant teasing with my brothers because I was the guy that could not really do anything in this country. I bought this place, which is out on the edge of Jordan Lake. I finally managed to get some credit, and I finally cobbled together a business. I went immediately $2.75 million into debt, and I had a crick in my neck for about 18 months. I also got into a big fight with the IRS, which I eventually won. This is a Blue Heron community. I'm a fan of intentional communities. I'm on the edge of them. I don't live in one, but when they were starting out, I was there at ground zero, and I wanted them to be at my place. I had some land, but I needed to mortgage my land in order to raise debt, and they wanted to go debt-free, so we parted ways, and Blue Heron ended up on the other side of town. This used to be Fidelity Bank in Moncure. I used to bank at Fidelity Bank in Moncure. I was with them for 18 years. I never missed a payment. I was never late. They gave me 15 days to repay all of their money. They have no credibility with me, and it's now a place where some guy stores his Mercedes-Benz. This was my second book, and it's about local economy, and it has a bunch of chapters like feeding ourselves and fueling ourselves. And one of the chapters is financing ourselves. And it's sort of a scorecard of how we do in Chatham County. And I gave us low marks on financing ourselves, because a lot of our stuff is credit card debt. This is Diane Swan. She's a local cabinet artisan. And I lent her $10,000. It's documented in the book, and she's been paying me back. She also went bankrupt. She burned Bank of America and all of her creditors and made good on her loan to me. So that was yeah. Mohammed Yunus came out with this book, and this was about microloans. It sort of introduced the idea of, $125 for a sewing machine and, $50 for a jig to make baskets and things that could get the poor. He was an economist in Bangladesh who looked at the squalor around him and said, something's not right. What we're teaching in economics is dead wrong, and a lot of it came back to credit. This is Jordan Peryear. He's the founder of the Shikori Hills Festival of Music and Dance, and Carol Hewitt and myself, we founded Slow Money North Carolina, which is essentially peer-to-peer lending in which we make money available for people in the food sheds, small farmers, and so on. This is Lynette Driver. She's our first loan, and Lynette opened up a baker CSA. So you could prepay for your bread, and she'd bring it in and drop off loads of bread. She needed $2,500 to get a mixer. She went and got her mixer with her loan. She became a baker for a while. When she didn't want to be a baker anymore, she sold the mixer, paid it back. This is Screech. Screech has got a lot of credibility with me. Screech, some of you may have had his hydroponic lettuce that's sold at Chatham Marketplace. I helped finance Screech over the years, and he's never been late. He's never missed a payment, and he's coming to the end of his loan with me, and I would lend again to Screech in 10 seconds. He has all the credibility in the world. Chatham Marketplace had a loan at 8% from the National Co-op Bank up in Virginia for something like $500,000. And so it was a balloon payment. The time was up, time to pay, and Carol Hewitt rustled up a whole bunch of people in the community. People threw in $25,000 blocks, and we bought out that loan, and we brought it back to Chatham. Why is the National Co-op Bank at 8% when money today from the Federal Reserve is at 0? That's one of the great questions that has bothered me. If you're getting your money at 0 and you're lending it at 8, it seems like you're kind of holding up Chatham Marketplace without a gun. We dropped their payments by $2,500 a month, and they're in much better shape. The CDFIs, I'm going to get in trouble for this, especially since it's being recorded, but the CDFIs, like for instance our beloved self-help credit union, they're also at 8% in a 3.5% world, and that is ridiculous. They pay 0, their cost of operating is 2, so maybe they should be lending it out at 3. Anyway, the reason that peer-to-peer lending works is because it's our people in our community and it's peer pressure. So if you want to default on one of these loans, you kind of have to leave town. I think that that's the lesson from Bangladesh, and I think that's also a lesson in Chatham County. And when you're into finance, you think it's about capital preservation, and you think it's about rates of return, and you think it's about diversified portfolios, and you think it's about all of the things that it's actually not about. It's actually just about the people that want to eat that food, or the people that are involved in our community. I work at Piedmont Biofuels. We move liquids around, and we are financed entirely on patient capital. So we've had investors and loans that are people who are ready to go long, and believe me, it's taken us a long time to figure it out. And we've just been doing this before there was slow money, before it was cool. Harrington Bank, here in Chapel Hill, locally owned bank, came out with a CD that's a Piedmont Biofuels CD. So if, for instance, you have a gas car and you think Piedmont is cool, you can go down to their bank and you can buy their CD, and that deposit collateralizes our loan. People think that this is a miracle of alternative finance, and of course it's not. It's the way it's supposed to work. People with money are supposed to be putting it in the bank, and then the bank is supposed to be lending it to the people with money. So it's not really a miracle of miracles when they asked me to go on the radio. It's kind of what banking was supposed to be all along. Getting rid of mortgage-backed derivatives and back to basics. So I put together this talk in order to try to put credit, well, really to put credibility back into credit and try to get it back down to where it should be. And